Champions, welcome. The squares have aligned and bingo is nigh. It's time for week 3 of Elden Squares Season 2. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, we have a team who has gone from upstart rookies to serious threats in this golden order. It is none other than Expedition 25. Their primary base game player is a man with the unstoppable drive to not only get better at the game, but continue to wreak havoc upon the bingo world. Some say he is man, some say he is machine, but regardless, he is none other than Thomas the Tank Engine and his teammate. Someone who has quickly risen up the ranks of DLC bingo players and proven he can hang with the best, taking the win for his team and doing fantastically, going head to head against Jay last week. It is none other than Yebe the Absurdist. And their opponents fighting out of the blue corner. We have someone who has been so pivotal for this team and for the entire league. The league would not exist without him, and Team Time Complexity would not be 2-0 without him. We saw him kill Borealis of the freezing fog last week with low damage and doing it effectively hitless. It is none other than Sci-Fi Code and his teammate, the reigning, defending, undisputed Elden Bingo Lord, looking to extend his regular season win streak yet one more game. It is none other than Shura the Absolute. Now let's get ready to run that board and square off. All right, are you ready to go here?
Let's go.
Let's go.
I love the intros. They're sick.
All right, Vex, center square here.
Oh, goodness. I don't even... Melania.
That's my default too. We'll also go Melania.
Yeah.
And the center square...
I don't know if the square set has changed since I've last played it. But...
Center square here is kill a dancing lion. Chat, make sure to get your gambas in. We still have a bit of time here, so make sure to get those gambas in. We'll go ahead and take a look at the board here. So center square is that dancing lion, a potential DLC rush square. I know this is a boss that Shura absolutely adores, despite my own issues with it. In the top left corner, we have none other than the big bad Bale the Dread, looking to make an appearance here. That could be very important for the late game. We also have kill a furnace golem. We could potentially see some furnace pot tech here. With that square in the top on that top row as well. That Bale the Dread and the Dancing Lions will synergize really well with kill 5 DLC bosses. Castle bosses could be Rilana, right? So that would help with DLC bosses as well. And we have Imbibe and St. Trina's Nectar. I already see that top left, the bottom right diag potentially being pretty potent there. Iris and Grace and Occultation, that tends to be a way through Hippo into the DLC. And honestly, this is a very DLC heavy board going ahead and looking at it. In terms of other big bosses, we have 4 Remembrance bosses. Again, could synergize with this line that I was talking about earlier. We have Lich Dragon Fortisax. We could see a situation where a player goes Fortisax into the DLC, or into the DLC later, the base game looking to help out with the DLC as well as Rykard, because there is a ton of DLC on here. In that 4th row, this is the base game exclusive line. There are 2 lines that are base game exclusive. It is this column 4 and the row 4. And then finally, talking about the bottom row, we have Moji, the OG, the Lord of Blood here. We have O-Seeker and Black Knife Set. This is a combination square. We normally see these combination types of squares are getting done by the base game primary player, so look for Sai and or Thomas to go ahead and take those. Then we have Moonrathil Carrion Knight, that'll be quick, and then Imbibe that we talked about earlier. In total here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 DLC primary squares. So actually not as DLC heavy as it looked like at first. necessarily, but there are some really potent lines that come off of that DLC. Castle Bosses is not DLC necessary, but Rolana is a great use of a castle boss. Vex, what are kind of some of your thoughts here when looking at the board?
Oh yeah, it's a initial instinct was there's a lot of DLC. I am interested to see what's prioritized in the DLC as someone that when was practicing for this season wasn't as focused on the DLC as much. I'm interested though to see how the base game meta has evolved since I left on what is prioritized first on this board, because I feel like there's a lot of different ways you could go here. But I'm interested to also see at what point, like, how these like 6 Limgrave bosses people are gonna fit those in, or these 5 Kaled bosses are gonna fit in. I'm interested to see. That was something I was initially just trying to look at the board, figuring out what stuff you could do with this. But I don't know how much of this duos trios bosses, how that is, but that, you know, you definitely have a lot of those in Kaled, stuff like that. But I'm really interested to see this. We do have a Starfist, which, you know, and Rotten Staff maybe being one of probably my favorite weapon in the game, so I'm glad it's here when I'm watching. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes.
I think this one's going to be a really big test for Yebe here. I think Yebe is kind of, you know, the man under pressure here. You're going up against Shura with Starfist on a very kill remembrance in the DLC heavy board. I think this is going to be a massive test for Yebe. And we are underway and our players are off. Elden Squares Season 3, Week 3 is officially underway and I am ready.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Okay.
Very interesting here. So, okay, we see Shura immediately going for actually Storm Stomp here. He's going to pick up the Whetstone Knife check, which they already have the Whetstone Knife. They start with it. But he does go ahead and get Storm Stomp. Obviously, Starfist Wild Strikes has been pretty meta here, but Starfist cannot stake Wild Strikes. You know, I'm curious to see if we have one of our player, if anyone decides to rush Grafted Scion. There is potential here that Yebe decides to do that, but he might just be looking to go straight into the Academy with the Renala Rush. We have Thomas here. It looks like Thomas is just running Dectus. Meanwhile, Sci-Fi is going ahead and grabbing the Strength tier to get the Rotten Staff online. Players do start with the Wondrous Physic, but they need to obviously pick up all their tiers that they would use.
Yeah, I was going to be interested to see what Shura did on this board, because obviously a ton of time has passed, but like when I was preparing for this season, when Shura and I played quite a few games together, he was really testing this Grafted Scion rush, but I obviously wasn't here the last few weeks, so I didn't know if that ended up being determined as a good rush or if it was a time waste. And clearly for him, at least, he's determined for this match on this board, it was not worth the rush.
I mean, I know it is normally a very good rush, and actually we do say Yebe going for it here. Yeah. Kind of a difference in strategies here, because on one hand it's like, all right, you get that Grafted Scion that square on the board there, but obviously you're a little bit slower getting into the DLC. Yeah. And particularly that Diag, I just think kind of makes itself, right?
Yeah.
Like if you go for Dancing Lion off rip and then straight into Imbibe, right? Yeah. I assume you're going to save Bale for later. I think that you could create a lot of problems here on that Diag, and Diags are really strong in this format. They're always strong in bingo, because inherently if you get a diagonal, you not only get a bingo for your team, but you block all other bingos. In base game, that's really nice, because like in singles that just win, obviously the bingo wins, but even if you don't get the line, you have a nice defensive position. With this, it's huge because yes, the bingo does not win, but you get those 2 bonus points and you can't get counter bingoed. We saw a game last week. Jurs and NVCC were up 8-3, but Tony, Tough Trizzy, and Fitz were able to counter bingo and come back and win from an 8-3 deficit. So
huge.
a diag does not allow for that counter bingo opportunity. But we are going to have our first boss fight of the game here as we have Yibe going up against that grafted Scion. He is just going for the straight rush on this. And is Shura going for it as well? I don't believe Shura's going for it. I think he's just grabbing a Grace there. And regardless if Yibe is to get this down first try, it will not matter.
This would be huge, at least in my mindset thinking for Yibe, as we already stated. He, you know, he's got the most pressure under this game going up against Shura, right? I don't think there's anyone in this league that carries as much aura as Shura does. And so knowing you're having to go up against him, and then you know that you're probably losing a lot of the race to Shura if you were to literally go for the, and so I think getting a square on the board already is huge for the mental. Going up against him, it calms you down, it gets you into the game, and now you just have to think about it in a way of, you now have to think about what is Shura going to go for first in this DLC, since he'll have this big advantage, and you gotta really try and figure out what he's going to go for and go for the next play.
And another,
I was just gonna say, you don't want to be behind and then continuously get sniped now in the DLC. You got to figure out how to work around that.
Another big confidence booster. That was a hitless fight too. Right, which I think huge. Is obviously at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, speed is speed. It doesn't matter if you get hit or not, but I know from playing a lot of randomizer races, right, getting something hitless, it feels good, right? It feels good. It helps you be all right, we're playing well today, baby, right? We're executing exactly like we wanted to. And a great start for Yibe there, but obviously Shura does have a bit of the lead going into the DLC, of course.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what the first play for these base game players is going to be. You know, a lot of setup been going here. It looks like Sai's going for Bloodhound Knights and a Limgrave boss.
Yeah, Bramblr talked about a potential Limgrave boss rush. At the start.
What would be most of your 6-1s? Would you just go for the fastest, or is there any synergy we can get here besides Bloodhound Knights?
Bloodhound Knights and duos, right? You obviously would want to do the duo. I think you'd probably want to get Margit and Godric if you were able to greet it with those castle bosses. I think for both these teams, particularly for Thomas though, because Yibe, that Yibe went for Scion. From their perspective, that could or could not have been a snipe, right? That diag really, really does scare me, right? Yeah. So I would want to be prepared to potentially basically help out Yibe by saying, hey man, worst case scenario, I can always block castle bosses, and killing Godric, who is a castle boss, would not only help Limgrave bosses, it would also help you for DLC access later for Oseager Black Knife set, and get you into kind of that good position. Good position there to just help out your teammate.
I would be this is just human nature. I would be nervous just in general having that diag. That diag is nasty anyway, but now you're also going up against that diag against Shura, where there's 3 massive kill squares on it that all feed into a 4 square on the board, right? That, and so I do think that if you can't get one of those kills while you think Shura goes for one of the other ones, then your block has to be castle bosses.
Yeah.
So I do think that could be a good place to block that line.
Because I think,
and it builds your row.
But. My nightmare scenario, and maybe I don't know Yibe's comfort with Bale necessarily. But we saw Shura granted this match was not commentated, but we saw him in the Veil Break, the preseason event, do a really nice job with a Bale kill to win for his team, right? Yeah. I would not want to get in a Bale race with him.
I would absolutely not. He's number 1 on my list of people I would not want to do a Bale race against. At least out of everyone I got to watch in the preseason when I was practicing stuff. And I know this is, game-breaking analysis when you say Shura's good at a fight, but watching him fight Bale is just, it feels like a masterclass.
As Shura is in here on the Red Wolf. Especially with Starfist too, because this is a weapon. Bale is not a boss that I love Starfist on, right? Like it's very annoying to hit him with Starfist. Like having that reach is so nice. Yeah. I don't think it's a coincidence that like the game, if you think about vanilla, right, you're kind of intended to fight Bale with Dragon Hunters, right? That's clearly what FromSoft wanted you to do.
Weapon for it, yeah.
Right, and that weapon has a lot of reach, right?
Both on the Ash and the actual weapon.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is the one and only downside to Starfist. That weapon is so good, but there are a few fights that it is just finicky for, and that is one of them. But that was a clean fight from Shura. Never expected anything less, but it's always good just to see a first fight go clean.
I mean, you never expect anything less, but like one of the things that we've seen, Vex, is like this format's so hard and like the players are pushing the envelope so much. Like it's kind of designed, I say it's designed to make people look bad. You know, it's designed like players make mistakes. Really good players make mistakes here. And we're actually gonna have double boss fight on our screen. We have Yebe here going for Red Wolf as Shura here is going for Margit.
Yeah, these are two big fights here. It's just like you said. It's just you gotta. Both of these players have killed these bosses unbelievable amounts of times, hitless. But as anyone that's ever played bingo is at this beginning stages of the game, especially with the limits, the way they're being pushed in this format, one mistake and it can cost you so much. And in this format, it felt like when I was playing it that mistakes cost you even more. And both clean fights right there.
Yep.
That was beautiful.
Also, just to clear up any confusion, Red Wolf is not a castle boss. Castle bosses are on anything that is, in a castle, of course. So like think like Stormvale Castle, Redmane Castle, Castle Ensis, Commander Moore. Castle Soul, etc. Right? It should be of note on those castle bosses, Radahn is not a castle boss because you fight him in the dunes, right? You don't fight him in the castle. But Crucible Knight Misbegotten Warrior duo, because you do fight them in Redbane Castle, would be considered a castle boss. And obviously Margit doesn't count. It says it on the square. At all the castle bosses, there's only one in every castle with the exception of Stormvale. There's two, so that's why Margit's excluded.
Yeah, I was also interested to see, and I know it's very board dependent. As someone that has played bingo, you can't just make generals, like being away for so long, come back, watch one game, and then make a generalization based on one game. But I was really interested to see how the meta had formed for these players on if the people that were rushing DLC would get any of these like kill X remembrance bosses getting their way to DLC. And it looks like with Rykard on this board, with Moog on this board, didn't I see Fortis? I don't know if I saw Fortis X on you somewhere. Maybe not.
I was
but oh yeah, Fortis X is there. I was like, and they chose to not do any of those. I know those are all very long and there's quite a bit of DLC, so it makes sense, but I was just interested to see.
Yeah, Shura here is fighting Godric, and it should be noted that obviously it's a routing thing and very minor. But Thomas did slightly beat Sci-Fi into Altus here, right?
Yeah,
so a little bit better movement there, getting into the DLC getting into Altus.
I wonder if the difference was I wonder if Thomas grabbed the Grace next to Bloodhound Knight the way that Sci did. That might have been the difference, but.
Yeah, I think that was the difference, and it should be noted. It's something that kind of goes unsung when you talk about matches, right? But when we do VOD review and stuff, like when players review their games, right? Like your running lines are super important, right? Like you can lose so much time with good or bad, or lose so much time with like poor running lines, right? And
you always preach run straight.
Yes.
Pick your line and run straight. Going back and forth is wastes so much time in the long run. That was something I tried to focus on a lot. As someone with ADHD, it's kind of difficult at times to not fidget, not to just move the stick, but you got to get in that habit, and it makes up a lot of time.
Oh,
And we got Thomas here going Snowfield.
100%. I preach that because I, like you, have ADHD, right?
Yeah.
And I remember back in the day, Zeno, who is he's the #1 speedrunner in the UK and a good friend of mine. He was like watching me play in chat, and he's like, "Dude, run straight." I'm like, I can't be losing that much time. And then at one point, I was like doing a speed run or something against him, and I was like, "Holy shit, I'm losing so much time on running lines."
Yep. It's all those little things that, like, when you like are first learning, like, right, when you first learn bingo, like learning how to do squares, learning boss fights, all of these things are so much more important than these little bit routing things. But when stuff starts getting so optimized, that time loss of not running straight ends up being a big time loss. But Thomas here gets the freeze grease. I'm interested what weapon he's gonna put that on and for what fight he's planning to use the freeze grease for.
Yeah, I wonder if that was an autopilot thing or if there's a plan. Because sometimes in bingo you're thinking about so much that, like, you tend to think so much about like the board and strategy and stuff that sometimes you're not super focused on what you're exactly doing, and you do just autopilot. We do have Yebe here is in phase 2. Shura here is now in on Renala, and we actually have Sci-Fi here going for one of the Bloodhound Knights, the Bloodhound Knight in Volcano Manor.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. Yeah. Oh!
Sci-Fi gets clocked. He's in a bit of trouble, but
he
does
gets the stagger.
Get the stagger and get it down. Nicely done by Sai. Nicely done by Yebe there as well. Getting Godric down. We'll go full screen with Shura here.
Yebe is not that far behind for going grafted.
Yeah, no, I'm actually surprised. I thought he would be farther behind.
With 4 screens on here, I haven't gotten to see exactly everything Shura's done. Maybe Shura's done a few extra things that Yebe hasn't that will give him more time after all this, but the time is not as drastic as I would have thought. But that just is shout outs to Yebe, who's been...
Wait, does Thomas have heal?
Does he?
He's going for... hold up. We might be taking a break from this Renala because we see... I think... No, Thomas is just going raw dogging this. This is like the earliest Royal Remnants of the season. We're going to go full screen with Thomas here.
I was about to say, he must know that 2 charge heavy staggers this, but this still seems crazy.
We can go ahead. Actually, we'll get Thomas and Shura up on the dual screen here. Yeah, this does seem insane to me because these guys, this is in Haligtree, right? Like these guys hit so hard, and he does go down there.
These things hit so hard, and let me try and figure out how to say this. Like, they are some of the most scary bosses in the entire game to people that don't play the game a lot. And then as you play bingo a lot, once you practice the one that's next to EG a lot, it really stops becoming such a scary fight that it maybe leads to false sense of security and that these aren't that bad. But I feel like Thomas knows what he's doing, and he's going for a very risky play here. Maybe he feels pressured that they need a risky play against this team. And
it would create a lot of pressure on the bottom row, or on the row 4 there. Let's go back in with, actually, we're gonna go dual screen with, is Sci-Fi going into Noble? We will see in just a second. I think Sci-Fi grabbed the 5 and the 6. I think he's gonna go back to the Grace and upgrade to +6 before going Noble. Will be noted that he has strike damage, so it's not gonna be fantastic against Noble here.
It's not. I will say I practiced Noble a lot with this weapon. Good quit out there.
Very good quit out there. Yebe is in on phase 2 against Renala here.
Yeah. And Shura's just getting all his stones right now, it appears.
Yes.
Which that'll be a big weapon advantage. I'll be interested to see what he chooses to go for first. I know, like you said, eyeing the dancing line as middle square. As someone that was pseudo taught Dancing Lion by Shura. That man has some insane tech on that boss, so I'd love to get to see that fight. But
Thomas here is actually going to go ahead and grab the Lord's Rune.
Yeah. So he's killed one, right, here?
He's killed one, yes. Shura is continuing to go to the DLC through his upgrade route. Yibe gets into the DLC about 2 minutes behind Shura, a minute 30 to 2 minutes behind. Yeah. And we have Sai here who is, all right, looks like Thomas, I believe he only got one down there.
Yeah, I think he only got one. So maybe this and last gear?
That would be two. You'd still need one more. We do have Sci-Fi here going for Godskin Noble. So let's go ahead and bring our two base game players up onto the big screen, onto the dual screen here.
One thing, and I know lots of times have passed, and I know with time things like this just get better. I do remember in the rookie event, me and Thomas talked a lot about that when things went a little sideways for him at the start of like he'd have these crazy games where he'd have crazy good starts, and then he'd have a next game where his start wouldn't go the best, and then it was really hard mentally for him to stay in the game when things went bad. So I have no doubt that he's gotten significantly better at that, but that's something I'm interested to see.
And Shura actually goes down there. Shura was going for Iris of Occultation, killing the Omen Killer. He does drop that Iris of Occultation, and he goes down.
Yeah. Did he grab a Grace there?
I hope he did. I was not able to see. We'll find out in just a second. Sci-Fi there gets a big stagger against that Godskin Noble. We'll bring him up onto the full screen here. He did grab the Grace.
That's huge. Okay.
Really nice Noble presence dodge. That is not easy to do, but here comes the rollout.
Dude, size. Oh, what a dodge. That was risky, but it worked.
You just need like one more hit or two.
Is he just letting the rot? Nope, here it is.
There he goes. He does get it down.
I shut my mouth up mid-thing because I didn't want to cash a curse my first time back, but that's a crazy good fight. That was well done.
Yeah, he does get it down. Very nicely very nicely done by Sai there. And I do want to give Sai his flowers. Like, I think a lot of times with this team, right, because, well deserved, right? Sure, is the reigning defending champion, right? And the DLC player does get to make kind of some of the cooler, bigger plays, as Thomas actually goes for the one in the Lascar Ruins there, and does get the Royal Revenant. So that is 2-0 early for team Expedition 25, the Young Guns.
That's big.
Anyways, continuing.
Sai does have the block prepared though. With Bloodhound Knights. I'll be interested, but he is gonna go. He is going right card first. So like, if Thomas full sent it, Thomas could get that first, but he's probably gonna prioritize getting progress to other things first.
Yeah. I just finishing my point on Sci-Fi though. I think Sai's been amazing this season, right? Like, I mean, his fight against Borealis last game was absolutely incredible. Sai's been awesome this season, right? Like, Shura gets a lot of the credit, right? But this is a team game, and like, they would not be 2-0 without the great play on both sides, right?
Yeah, when I was playing, like, there was like a clear set of people that were just playing like just a shit ton of practice games when I was playing, and Sai was one of them. Sai was grinding, Sai was playing a bunch, and the props to Sai, like when we'd play together, he was very much taking every game as like a learning like, you know what, like, we're gonna, like, there was people, I feel like there's ways to take practice games where you're just trying to win every single practice games, but then there's, in the long run, that can be detrimental because you're not testing new things, new scenarios you might be put into in actual games, all this stuff. And Sai was like very big on, let's learn this, let's do this, and it's clear like he's playing really well.
Yeah, he's playing
and
really well.
I feel like it gives a big confidence boost. Like, I remember when I'd play practice games and I played with Shura, there's just this buff you get where you're just like, I'm playing with Shura, right?
Yeah.
You know?
It's a buff, but it's also a nerf, right? Like, so I played in the 2v2 rando event with Shura, and it's one of these things where it's like, if you're playing with Shura that like you have a chance, like you have a good chance to win, right? Like Shura is just that good, right? That you have a very good chance to win if you're with Shura, right? And it's kind of also like, you know, when your teammates playing at such a high level, you don't want to feel like baggage, right? You want to match that, right? Like, so I remember when I was running that rando event, like, you know, practicing so much to try to, you know, keep pace and like get the job done, right? And especially, you know, for in my case with rando, it was like, sure, I'd never won a rando event before, and I wanted to, you know, even though it was known how good he is, he just couldn't, you know, rando's rando, right? You can't always win. You great players, the best player doesn't always win in rando. That's just rando. But in bingo too, it's like, you know, you want to not only win for yourself, but also like you want your teammate Shura to keep his title as the reigning defending undisputed Elden Bingo Lord, right?
Yeah, exactly. I will say I have felt that with other people a lot more than like Shura is so calm and so like.
Yeah, you don't notice it while you're playing, but it's like it just
it's always there. The first few times I played with him, I felt it like I was feeling it, but he does a great job of like you mess up, like he is like whether or not he does internally or not, he doesn't ever make you feel like we're gonna like lose this game because of you, like right, like he's a great job of like, hey, we still are in this, we still got this, like we can do that, like. I don't know. I never, because I do get what you're saying, and I could feel that definitely being like some weight or a debuff. But for some reason, when I played with Shura, his like calm demeanor never made me feel that way.
And speaking of plays from Shura, Shura going in for Rolana Twin Moon Knight. I know this is one of his favorite bosses. Always looks for an excuse to fight it. Let's go ahead and see what he can do here today, as we see the first big remembrance outside of Godric and Renala here of the game.
And
this will be
be a power play saying, hey, I think I'm getting that you're gonna think I'm going Dancing Lion, or you think I'm like, and then I feel like I'm better on Bale. I feel like y'all's only block here is castle bosses, and this could be a play for castle bosses immediately before doing anything else.
Well, that, or he could go Dancing Lion right after this and double mark with Dancing Lion and 4 remembrances, right?
Oh wait,
not castle bosses with Dancing Lion 4 remembrances, yeah.
Oh yeah, 4. Is that on the board?
Yes, in the column, in the row 3, column 1.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even see that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because obviously 2 to get here. This would be 3, and then Dancing Lion double mark, and that would be 2 DLC bosses already done. That this line gets really, really scary if he's just allowed to do this. And
we're gonna actually go to the dual screen here because we see Yebe going in for the hippo. Dude, he's going ballsy, literally, both on his fists and with the fact that he is naked. He's running Blue Dancer. Like, this is, if you can play with Blue Dancer, this is like a massive edge. Blue Dancer with Starfist is pretty much like a 15% damage boost to your physical damage. Obviously, these guys are running cold, so some of that will be eaten up by magic, but a really big damage boost. But my God, do you have to play perfect. This is a stupid skip that Thomas invented to get to a Bloodhound Knight.
What in the world is this?
Welcome to the sweatshop where we invent stupid skips to get to random stuff like Bloodhound Knights.
I know what Bloodhound Knight this is, but this is insane. No way, bro.
All right, there goes Bloodhound Knights, and that's the block on the column there. Yebe is continuing to work on Golden Hippo here. This is a DLC boss, but also will progress him towards Iris of Grace with an occultation. Yebe also killed the Omen Killer to get the Iris of Occultation, and then the best Iris of Grace to get is in the hospital area.
That was crazy. That I had heard there were some skips that people hoped I got to see today, and now I bet you that was one of them.
That was one of them. I remember when they were cooking that. I was like, all right, the sweatshop is
I thought he was about to do O'Neill cheese, but on the branch, I was like, I thought that was banned.
And we do have Sci-Fi here also going for Rykard as well.
Yeah, that was a big block for Sci.
Oh, trust me, they invent stupid. This is one of the things about like the difference between like Golden Order and like other events, right? Like
Yeah.
every single night, like I've jokingly started calling it the sweatshop. Like they're just in a call, like inventing stupid stuff. And like most of the time you don't get to see it, right? Very rarely does it get done because a lot of times it ends up being increasingly niche, right? I mean, I remember last season when ASIM or Nexus and Nartok and Helios spent like an hour or hours creating the gamer jump to figure out how to not get the hard fall animation out of Chapel.
Dude, insane. Yeah, I remember right when the rookie event over and I start practicing for the 2v2 event, and it was just an immediate difference I saw where like every day there was like a new spreadsheet or a new thing that like someone had, a lot of the time Shura had done calculations at the time, but like everyone, it felt like a new every day it was like, hey, I tested this and it's this time, and compared to like this other thing it was this time, or and all this stuff, and it was just like, wow, this is crazy. It's awesome to see though, and it's fun to see because you want to see as a viewer people push things to the absolute limits, right, and like find the absolute best strat. So it's really cool to see these things.
Shura here is going for Ancient Dragon Man, by the way. Size in phase 2 against Rykard, and Yibe here. This would be a big kill for him. The first kill is so, like the first really big kill, right, is so important. You just get so much money and Scadu. And holy hell, also doing that naked, of course. Big confidence boost.
Crazy. That fight is terrifying to me. So
I meant to go. We're gonna go with sci-fi here for Rykard phase 2. Shura here could be in a bit of. This is a tricky fight going for ADM with Starfist, right?
Yeah. This fight is something. Literally right. This was a fight I started grinding before I ended up having to stop playing for a little while. And I started to learn a little bit of the ins and outs of this fight. This fight, without reach, is a little tricky. But.
And we actually see Thomas here making his way. It might be towards Moog Lord of Blood.
Moog Lord of Blood, let's go. Ty
gets absolutely clocked there.
With the rotten staff. Ooh. Oh,
and Yibe here is just going straight for Iris of Grace and Occultation. Ty's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, he does get a heal off.
Oh. That was huge. That heal.
Oh, Sai, roll, get away. I think Sai's lost count. Yeah, I think he was looking to do the loop on Rykard, but I think he's lost count as to, like, there are certain attacks that Rykard does that pop skulls into the sky. It does appear that he's lost count as to how many there are, because I think he's expecting it right now, but he needs one more.
Yeah.
Except he does get a stagger there.
It is one of the longest I've seen him not do the tag, so I could see him. And huge.
And he does get it down. Very nicely done by Sci-Fi there. And Shura also got ADM down as well.
Way to just keep, like, whenever, you can panic a little bit when you don't have the loop going, and Sai kept his head and was able to get that done. Iris. Okay. Iris agrees. I think they need to be worried about this Diag, and
I think Iris of Grace and Occultation. I think if I'm Shura and I see that Yibe has done both Iris of Grace and Occultation and grafted Scion, like I know exactly what he's done at this point. I know he started with Scion. He did Renala Godric. He then killed Hippo and got Iris of Grace and Occultation, right? That gives me supreme confidence if I'm Shura about trying to push something on this diagonal.
It's one of the hard things of, like, this is why Shura, like, obviously mechanical skill Shura is incredible, but it's one of the things that I think needs to be pointed out about why Shura is so hard to play against is because Shura is so deadly if he knows what you've done. Because he knows, like, all the calculations for what that means he can do, what, like, all the time it's going to take you to do that. And so it leads you to want to play a play style against him that makes it where he can't know everything you do. But that then means in turn you're not doing everything optimally as fast as possible, which also puts you at a disadvantage against Shura because of how fast he goes. And so it's really like when you play Shura, you have to pick your own poison on, do I want him to know what I'm doing and be as fast as I can, or would I rather him not know everything I've done but be slower? And either way, it always doesn't feel great. And He's going in
Forget
here.
the Shura Glaze, though, because we got Moji, the OG, the Lord of Blood on the board here for Thomas, the tank engine. Not the earliest we've seen Moog done this season, but still 30 minutes into the game is pretty damn early.
Yeah.
This is a big fight for him.
I love this fight with this weapon.
I also think for for the base game player, I really like prioritizing the remembrance squares because of the fact that it also gives you DLC access. It gives your team flexibility. Yeah. We saw Sci-Fi prioritize that with Rykard, and now we see Thomas here prioritizing that with Moog. And also Yebe there is fighting Geru, but he goes down as I notice it. Commentator's curse immediately.
Commentator's curse.
Looking at that has to be for the DLC bosses for the block as well.
Yeah, they're night bosses. I don't think
there are night bosses on the board, and that is obviously a fort, not a castle.
Yeah. Oh, true. Thanks.
Thomas
knights.
Thomas did get a good amount of Vig because when he killed the Royal Revenants in Haligtree, he picked up the Lord's Rune, which was an extra 50k.
Oh yes, he did. That was. I wonder if that was why he wanted to prioritize that too, was to get those runes. But that's that goes a long way for those extra 50k. I'm interested to see how this phase 2 though goes for him, because this is where this fight. Phase 1, right? Really not that scary. Phase 2 is where this fight gets tough. And we do have Shura going.
Shura's going Lion.
Yeah, I thought I had already seen Shura go here. Had he not?
He's not. He was working towards Bellarats. I mean, it's it's a bit of a run.
Yeah. When I saw him opening the big doors, I thought it was the big doors to the fight, but it was to okay, that makes sense.
Sci-Fi's going for Vike here, by the way. Thomas almost done. Okay. Really nicely done there. Great job by Thomas, dude. Shout out Thomas, huge. Man. Huge kill on Moog Lord of Blood there. Rambler gives it a 5.5. Get out of here, Rambler.
Well,
Rambler's just bitter. Rambler's just bitter because he lost to them last week. Ignore it.
Rambler's. You always got to up Rambler's score on Moog just because he's always going to give tough scores. He's that teacher that is a hard.
Oh my, Yebe's
Oh god.
Oh my god, he was gonna get licky tongued, but then he fell off the the ledge. That's huge.
That's insane. The save there. That's great.
There is the save.
Oh, is he going Vike?
Oh my god, hold up. We have a Vike race.
Oh my gosh, we do.
We have a Vike race on our hands here. Shura's in on the Dancing Lion for the center square as well. You know what? Let's go to the quad screen, chat.
Oh my god.
We have a Vike race at the bottom, Shura going for center square, and Dancing Lion in the top right. And Sci-Fi got here first, but Thomas is being much more aggressive. Ty gets in trouble there with the lightning. Oh my god, this is going to be so close.
This is... Oh my god. Oh, there's the heal.
There's the heal for both of them. I also do want to point out Thomas's stream delay, looking at the board times on their screen. Thomas is a few seconds behind on stream delay. Actually Thomas is a few seconds. He's got a
decent lead on this.
Yeah, he does have a pretty decent lead. Sai's got him in a crouch loop though. He's learned from me. He's learned the ways of the crouch R1. Sai gets it down, and Thomas goes down, but Square goes to team time complexity there. Really nicely done. Great job by Sci-Fi here.
The board hasn't updated on Thomas's. Thomas gets that if he doesn't die.
He very well might have gotten it if he didn't die.
I think so. Maybe not, but I think he does. If he doesn't die. Oh, that's now we have to see how the mental holds up, because that's a tough one right there.
I also want to say really nice job here by Sci-Fi. I mean, Shura has not marked a square yet. 3 squares on the board, all from Sci-Fi for team team time complexity, but hey, it doesn't. It all changes now. Ashura with the double Mark IV remembrances and Dancing Lion, and now the pressure's on because this diag is so threatening, and the middle row.
Yep, and the mid. At least Thomas is going Fortis already. But that this is I don't know how you block this.
Shura here is continuing to work towards 5 DLC bosses. Just gonna go kill Friedrid. Also, chat, we got a hype train going on. Thank you so much for the hype train, Vex. Thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate it.
Of course.
And all the new follows, thank you as well. I'll make sure to thank everyone individually after the game because I really do appreciate it. I'm almost at 1,000 followers. We're 20 something away, so thank you so much.
Is this Yubei's 3rd DLC boss?
This is Yubei's 3rd, and this is Shura's 4th. He's just chasing here, but he's behind. Because Shura did Rilana, ADM, and dancing. Then Friedrid will be his first. Meanwhile, Yubei here only did Hippo and Geru. You know, I actually think it was maybe a smart play initially, but the death to Geru, if he didn't die to Geru there and lose all that time, he might have been able to beat him on this, but
yeah. The 2 deaths for Exposition 25 is
yeah, because Shura just goes Dane here. Shura just goes Dane and marks the square.
Yeah, I think it's such a time sink, but if I think his only hope is to go PK, isn't it? Like, I don't think
he kind of needs to go imbibe right now.
Like right now, but he's not.
Because Shura's gonna finish up Dane. By the way,
ADM.
If you wonder what Sci-Fi's doing here in Yellow Onyx Tunnel, he is going for the Onyx Alabaster Lords.
He's getting kicked.
But he gets destroyed by some miners.
He only killed one of the Onyx Lords in there? I know he killed one. I don't think he got to the other one yet.
Fia's Champs would be a trio fight, but they're removed. Fia's Champs is actually just hard removed from the mod because otherwise no one would ever go for Fortis.
Yeah, no.
And there goes the DLC bosses down now. I mean, the pressure is mounting. This is potent, right?
Yeah. I'll be interested to see.
And Thomas there gets he tried to go fast, going on the left side around that guy, and gets just gets nuked.
Like, oh my gosh. That's crazy. Yeah, I think going for either Grafted or Iris of Grace is fine, but I think the combination of both, I think, says I didn't respect how bad the diag was, I think.
Yeah, that diag was horrifying, and that's one of the things that's about 2v2 that's like so difficult, right? You need to be able to spot dangerous diagonals off rip. Like, obviously it's a lot easier for us to do it because like on commentary we have a lot less to think about, like in terms of we don't need to think about weapon and actually like the stress of playing, right? That skill of being able to address that diag, like I'm sure if we asked them in the post-match interview, they will have known how threatening it was off rip. And I think that's why we saw Shura like not going for Grafted Scion, right? He was probably like, yeah, sure, let Yubei have Grafted Scion. I don't care because this diag is worth the pressure. Even if I don't even get the diag, the pressure is worth more than 1 square.
Yep. Okay, he's going Moonrathil here. I wonder if he goes Moonrathil Imbibe and they just say Shura's not going Imbibe right now and they try to call that and they try to counter bingo row 5. That would be interesting.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah. It's just the problem of you can't counter bingo without. You have to have Imbibe. You have to have Imbibe, right? You have to block that diag. I think Imbibe's quickly becoming the most important square.
I guess he's trying to call that Shura's gonna go castle bosses first, which he is.
He's going Leonine. This will be his final castle boss.
Yeah. But because you have to assume one of those DLC bosses is Rilana.
Have to.
Yeah. And so I'm interested in the timing here because you would want more than just a few seconds lead on Imbibe So we'll see how this timing works out.
You don't necessarily need more than that. I mean, because keep in mind you do have the grace in the fissure.
It's true.
But you have to block. You have to break the rune, and I actually don't know if Shura has broken the rune yet.
That's true. That's true.
As Thomas there, or sorry, Yibe there does get down the Moonrithil there. I think this is a situation where if Thomas and Yibe are able to get imbibe and block, and as Yibe is going for it, right? So if Yibe gets imbibe here and blocks this diagonal, I think we're looking at a very, very even game going into the end game. I will say if
Shura with a threat on row 5.
Yeah, and if Shura and Sai are able to clean this up, then I think it's it could be reps. But then again, though, hold up, there's the counter bingo threat because the counter bingo threat is mounting because Thomas here is going for Fortisax, right?
Already has.
He already has one DLC boss or one remembrance boss down in Moog. This will be his second DLC boss, get him into the DLC, and he already picked up the Black Knife set in the Consecrated Snowfields or Dina Town. So the counter bingo threat is very real here.
Yep. The 5 Kaled bosses then becomes very, very important. It'd be interesting to see. Does anyone? I don't think anyone has any.
No, I don't think so either, as Mr. Wins Games goes down for Shura. Will the prophecy that Leonine wins games come true, or will it be a win here? Or will Expedition 25 be able to counter bingo and use that pressure? Again, I know we're talking a lot about bingos, but bingos do not win games here. They simply are 2 bonus points. First team to 13 points wins. And Sci-Fi is going ahead and working on
making the correct call.
Working on the Kaled bosses for the block here. A very heads up play, right?
Yep, huge.
As we see the Lynch Dragon Fortisax on the screen here for Thomas there in the top left. We got to get that peak OST on. I assume he rots. I'm sure he does.
I think he does. I feel like he's got to. Oh, and Yibe goes down to the eyeballs.
He does go down to the eyeballs there. You know, is Shura actually going defensive here? Are we seeing Shura? I think we're seeing Shura go for Altus access. Maybe also looking to block O-Secret Black Knight.
Yep.
Or Black Knife, sorry.
Maybe they feel really good about their position. They don't feel like they need the bingo, and they'd rather not get counter bingoed.
Also, holy hell, great timing there by Shura to just take the little bit of damage without dying.
That's crazy to risk that fall. That's
Dude, how far Shura has come. You know, I remember as Thomas there does get down.
Nice. That's huge.
Does get down Fortisax, very nicely done. But I remember in the qualifiers for Golden Order Season 1, you know, Shura played against Ellie and actually, you know, died multiple times to the water wheel boss, like really, really struggled and, you know, caused him to lose the game in the qualifiers there. And, you know, now we see him just, you know, he is the boss taking full advantage of all the value that the water wheel could bring him. What character development from Shura there.
Crazy. Full circle. What? Squares are going to become super pivotal. So, what is... So, he's going 5 Kaled bosses. We have Thomas going... What is Thomas?
To me, I think if... I believe that if...
Oh, no.
If neither of these bingos happen, if both teams... As Yibe's really running into trouble there, running and going to PK, he goes down again. Sai looking to go duo trio here with Kaled. Via the Nox duo.
Synergy. Yeah.
To me, I think they're gonna be able to. Because Shura, keep in mind, he already has ADM down. I think basically the idea here for team they changed their name, Time Complexity. They changed their name to Expedition 27 on their board. So I keep reading Expedition 67. Instead of in getting it confused in my head. So I'm sorry, every time I say their name I get it messed up. But for the blue team, anyways, they're gonna put themselves in position to let Shura close this game out with Bale. I think that's the idea, right? Is let's just get to 12 and then we'll send Shura to Bale and we'll let him close it out. Sai can go for whatever's left. Maybe he gets it, maybe he doesn't, but like you know, that I believe that is the idea here for this team.
Yeah. And I'm almost always like, if I'm willing to bank on anyone winning if we put ourselves in a position where we win the game, if Shura gets Bale over someone else, I feel like that's a great position to put yourself in, right?
Yeah.
And Sai really here, I think Sai hasn't got enough love here just solely because he's been doing a lot of these. He's been doing a lot of different things, right? He has 3 Limgrave bosses, right? Or maybe that's Shura. Shura has 3. And then Sai has 3 Onyx Lords, but chose not to finish it since he thought it was not that important of a square right now. And made the right call that Kaled is a very important call right now. But they've got that while he's getting duo trio. We've got, and then he can easily finish the Onyx Lords right after that.
And we do see Yibe here going for Furnace Golem.
Yep. So he pivoted out of Imbibe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in hindsight, also one thing that could end up proving pretty crucial was the Vike, right? Like,
yeah,
snipes are so big in bingo, right? Because it's a 1-point swing, right? If this right now, blue team is up 7-6, right? If instead they were to have, if instead they had the Vike, it would be, well, I guess now an 8-6 game, they'd have a 2-point lead here versus a tie ball game. We do see O-Seeker Black Knight there from Thomas as expected. Sci-Fi really heads up going for Kayla Dragon Barrow early, getting the jump on that, because I think Thomas here, there's a chance he tries to chase and get sniped, but maybe not.
Maybe he's doing duo trios. There's the maybe he's gonna try to beat him to duo trio but lose Kaled because there's the
that he also could just go for Logar and Magnus here.
Oh, true. Onyx Lord. There's an Onyx Lord over here. But I'm interested to see what he does here.
And Shura's running to Shadow Keep. This will be to break the rune.
Break the seal, yeah.
He'll probably set up the Grace here at Furnace Golem. You know, one thing is those 3 different Crucible Knight variants, right? You have to kill Devonia, and in order to get to Devonia, you need Rao, obviously. So the ways to either get Rao would be to run back section or to kill Hippo. The only reason why, and there's no reason pretty much to go back section here. You could technically dupe at the Finger Ruins in the Hinterlands, but I think you'd much rather dupe on this board at the Finger Ruins in by PK.
Yeah. I think Shura is probably a little confused here with Shura's insane internal clock. Shura's probably was expecting PK by now.
Yes.
And it's now just like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna prep it all. And if you let me get this, he's probably thinking I have no idea what you've been doing.
And Sai here is just taking all the synergy with the duo, getting both the duo trios in Kaled as well as Kaled bosses, of course.
Yeah. Well, I think
Yibe does get the Furnace Golem down there, and now Shura's ahead going into PK. And it must be of note that Imbibe plus Bale plus the bingo would put them at 12. Yeah. 12, 11. 11.
And they have, and he needs 1 Onyx Lord. He needs 2 Kaled bosses. Like, it would be near impossible. This is really close. Yibe's, unless I've got wrong stream delay or something, it looks like Yibe is ahead because Yibe had the next Grace.
Yes.
But you're gonna need to not die to these, and then have a clean fight.
Yeah, this PK race will prove pivotal here for this end game, because Thomas here is working on Onyx Lords, and depending on how much Sai greeds here, I think Sai will be able to pivot back and take Onyx Lords away from Thomas. This is most likely wasted time here from Thomas. But it's
so far
it's not over till it's over in bingo, and Yibe's in massive trouble and goes down. Oh man, dude, Expedition 25 has played so well outside of this just run to PK has proved very problematic for this team.
Yeah, they've just had a few deaths. The Vike death, the run here have cost them a little bit, and as of right now, Time Complexity has sniped Expedition twice on Vike and then DLC bosses.
Yeah.
DLC bosses wasn't like super close, but it was a good time investment.
Yeah.
But this could have been their chance to win one back, and
Sai here coming to finish the Onyx Alabaster Lords.
Sai's just
Sai's
playing this
played
so well,
today. He's played. Sure has done the more like impressive kills, but Sai's like board knowledge and timing, like everything's been perfect from Sai today.
It really feels like he's playing like Shura. He's like perfectly pivoting between squares at times when they're very necessary, and is using the knowledge on the board to then pivot back to other stuff. And Yibei goes down again.
Goes down again. I think this run. Oh, I feel awful for them because they played such a. If Yibei knew this run better and got it the first time, I genuinely think they would be in a pretty commanding position here.
Yeah, it would be such a close game that probably comes down to Bale.
And I think it still very well might.
It might
come down because I see no reason to not send Shura.
When you get 12, just go there.
Yeah, or it's like, or at the very least, right? Because that would be a 3-point square for them if Shura gets Imbibe here, right?
Yeah, it gets you straight to 11, and Sai has to kill one Caleb boss to get him to 12, and then they have good prio on duo trios. Limgrave, so they might not end up there, but Expedition's got to do something here soon, or hope that Shura makes a mistake here.
And actually, one other thing to note, Thomas here is going for Lord bosses. So Sci-Fi did all his Onyx Lords. He did, I think pretty much non-boss variants, right?
Yeah, he did. All 4 were non-bosses.
He's still going for the Onyx Lord because he can still win Lord bosses, right? Shura here is running into PK, so we're gonna go ahead and go full screen with him. This would put Time Complexity in a dominant position. As Sci-Fi does mark Kayla Dragon Barrow there, the bingo line will win if Shura is able to kill PK and Bale here.
Did Yibei finish? I know he ran and got the grace, but did he finish ADM?
I am not sure. Chat, does anyone know? No. By the way, be sure to stick around. We have one more game coming up after this. I also will let you know, I know we were supposed to have 2 games for tomorrow, but one of the players got called into work. We're trying to, it was the Dino Deutz Iron Typing game. We're trying to figure out a fix. At the very least, we will have 1 game still tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to try to see if we can get another game on the slate, whether it's a reschedule for that game, for the Dino Deutz Iron Typing game, or maybe we can get a Crucible game or something for you guys.
I envision a Nexus level, like Loretta, just 10-hour grind. I feel like Yibei's gonna come grind this running section.
This running section is a bitch. I remember grinding it for DLC bingo. It sucks.
Yeah, it is not fun.
Yeah, and he is just concussion percenting.
He is just concussion percenting.
And I gotta say, it's unfortunate. Yibei's played really well all season. Yeah. Like in the first 2 games so far. I mean, obviously they lost in the first game, but Yibei personally played really well in that one. And then both Thomas and Yibei absolutely brought the goods in the last game against Old But Gold. Everyone's gonna make a mistake during the season, right? There's too much to know. There will be a gap. I'm Insure is gonna probably go straight for Imbibe here, but
Knowing Insure, there's a chance he holds it.
Yeah, I doubt it. If he would have held it, this would be insane.
He would not hold it. But if there was a person to do it.
If there was a person to do it, he is true, and of course Yibei gets through, but it is going to be too little too late here. Shura is going straight for the Imbibe.
I can't tell if it's better for the mental or worse for the mental that Yabe finally makes it through just to see the square get marked.
I mean,
but...
the thing is though, as much as this is a mistake, it's not over yet, right? He can still, could still clutch up on Bale and come in, like he could atone for his sins at Turtle Pope mid game, right? And by winning Bale.
Yeah, I would have loved, right? Everyone that's played bingo understands how hard it is to pivot, right? And how hard it is to, when you're concussion percenting, to stop. But I would have liked it some. I know he pivoted out once, came back, and then proceeded to die a lot more. But at some point, I think you needed to make some progress to bail just in case, and just let your mind reset a little bit. But and he did, and he doesn't have ADM day. No, this is the
no, he doesn't have ADM. But Shura's actually not going for Bale. You know, I actually don't even think they need it. Hold up, because
I don't think they need it.
Shura has 3 Limgrave Weeping left. Dai's about to mark duo trio here with the Tree Sentinel duo. And then Shura actually just has to go dupe or Remembrance out of Finger Ruins. There is a chance though, if Yabe makes a crazy call and goes for the dupe rather than straight to Bale, right?
Yeah.
Then there's still life. There's still life here.
I think when this duo trio gets marked, there's a chance they choose to do that, because I would see it as your only chance to win the game still. Even if you go get Bale, at that point, I think if you just...
Yeah.
You're going to lose majority anyway.
Yeah, because you can expect... I think you need to expect blue team here to take the path of least resistance to victory, right? And I think that path of least... Even though Bale is just an auto win at this point for them, I think that... getting 13 in other ways is the path of least resistance for them, right?
You know, the growth here, though, you know, for sure, the man just somehow keeps getting better and better of just understanding. Oh, and now he's going. Is he going dupe? Is this dupe?
Shura's going dupe.
Yep. And he didn't even finish. Dude, Shura's just, his read on games is just, it's so good.
I mean, his ability, like, that's the thing about bingo, right? As much as we talk about, like, you know, and I think I've seen it before, right? As, you know, obviously there's a big bingo kick, right? With both brawlers and us, there's like a lot of new people getting into bingo, right? And, you know, sometimes we see like really good players struggle with it. And it's like, bingo's its own thing, right? Like, Shura's ability to read the board and stuff and like make these calls has nothing to do with how good he is at Elden Ring, right? Like, it's all about, like, yeah, game knowledge, I guess, is a part of it. But at the end of the day, right, this is about like, Shura's really good at, you know, reading the board, right?
That he might, you know, we've had this discussion. I feel like he's the most mechanical, like he's the best Elden Ring player. Like, I think he's just crazy good mechanically, and he has just incredible read on how to play bingo. It's an unfair combo.
It's to the point that if we didn't watch Shura and watch him do this consistently in practice games and all this stuff, like, you would think he's cheating.
Yeah,
genuinely. Like,
I remember one of my first times ever watching him play was in the finals against Helios, and he makes that pivot at the end of game 2. And I genuinely, as someone very knew nothing about Shura at the time, I was like, wow, they need to check that. That seemed crazy sus.
Dude,
and then the more I watched Shura,
even I on commentary, like, I'm not gonna lie, I literally sussed him out a bit in the post-match interview. Like,
but you just see him do it all the time. Like, the man just does. And it would be sussier if you didn't, when you just talk to him. Not even when he's playing. You just talk to him, and you can tell, like, that he just has that knowledge about the game. And there's dupe, and all he has to do is kill 2 more Limgrave bosses.
Are Sai and Shura racing each other to Limgrave
I think they're
bosses?
racing for Limgrave. I think they are. And this is just unfortunate. Like, this is how crazy.
I mean, to be fair, Sci-Fi has literally nothing else he can do. I'm surprised Shura isn't going for something else, but he's also the closest to finishing. I think he also should beat Sci-Fi to this.
He chose not. Did he already kill Bofa? Is he just?
Oh no, he's going for Crucible Knight variants. Okay, I was gonna say.
So he is.
I was gonna say it'd be kind of like, I would be shocked if they set both players to the same score, because like if you get sniped, I mean, you genuinely could be in trouble, right?
And this game it just shows how on a knife's edge this format is, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like this game was so close, really well played by both teams, and then just a few mistakes from Expedition, and it really was, they like a few of their mistakes could have been over. Like they made a few mistakes that I think they could have even pushed back because of how well they played around, like before those. It was just it kept happening, and this is just and it's something that I think even went back to in the rookie event, and I can already see how much progress Thomas and Yeve have both made since the rookie event, and it's as someone that kind of came up through the ranks with them, it's really awesome to see how good they've gotten. But I do remember from in preparing for games against Yebe, I did see a lot of the times that when things went well, they went really well, and when things went bad, it was kind of hard to bring it back. And
we do see Logan
really
and Magnus there.
Which is,
but
they're still fighting back.
I also think at the end of the day, it's like, you know what, like we're not in a horrible spot, right? Like,
no,
we're 1-2, right? Yep. Okay, we lost our first game. You know what, like that first game was always going to be really tough for them because first gold in order game
Rookie's
for both players. For both players, right? They're the only team with 0 golden order experience, as Sci-Fi does get a Geel down, and that will be 6 Limgrave Weeping Bosses. The win there for team Time Complexity. They move to 3-0, and they are in one hell of a good spot here for the rest of the season. Before we bring our players in for the post-match interview, I will gotta say, I think both these teams, obviously, Sci-Fi and Shura, right? They moved to 3-0. The top 4 teams at the end of the season will go ahead and make the playoffs here. So realistically, we're probably looking at 6-3 to definitely get in. 5-4 could leave you on the edge, right? Sci-Fi and Shura have to be in a great spot. They're like, all we have to do is go 500, win half their games remaining, and they likely are in. And then for Team Expedition 25, I think they can say, you know what, we lost our first game. That was always going to be a tough game. We beat Jay and Rambler, which is one hell of a win, right? And then we lost to Sci-Fi and Shura. So be it, right? Like that. I mean, it's we didn't know going into the season, but so far it's proving like, I mean, that it's looking like to be a loss on a lot of team schedules, right?
Yeah. With the way Sai's playing, like we all know who Shura is, but with the way Sai's playing, this team seems really, really, really strong.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sci-Fi is playing at they're both just playing at an elite level. Let's go ahead and bring the boys in here for the post-match interview. And remember to stick around, guys, because we do have another game coming up after this. Dino and Deutz will be playing against Lemon and Cronies. That should be a massive game. Very excited for that one. Let's go ahead and bring the players in here, though.
What you're doing right now.
Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. GG's. One hell of a game. It was really on a knife's edge there the whole time, and it felt like a few mistakes at the a few mistakes kind of breached the dam a little bit.
A few is generous, but
well, to be fair, it was one kind of thing, right? Just but we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk with Sci-Fi and Shura here. Obviously, an amazing game by you guys, really delivering it. Shura, obviously your DLC and big boss execution was on full display, but I actually, I want to give the man his flowers, because I think Sci-Fi played at like an absolutely amazing game today. Like played at an elite level, and like early on there, right? Like Shura wasn't marking anything. It kind of allowed Shura to be Shura and get the information from the board to make the right reads. Sci-Fi was just dominant all day. Sci-Fi, how are you feeling, man? Because that was a fantastic game from you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, I feel good. Like I thought I would just have jitters for the first game, right? Like my first 2 games are both kind of shaky, especially the second game. I was like dying a lot to bosses and stuff. But this game, I don't know, man. I felt really good. Like sure, and I practice a lot, and like in practice games, I don't have that problem. So today it just felt more like the same like level of like I don't not like calmness, but I just felt more like into the game today. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I mean, like you,
Crazy good game.
because you looked really clean, right? Like you looked
Just another
amazing
day at the
today.
office.
And I think, obviously, look, you're glazed like a donut on a daily basis, right? But I think like, sci-fi, you've played so well. Like this is a team game and, there's a reason why you guys are 2-0 or 3-0 now. Sorry. The first team to be 3-0. Both of you have been absolutely dominant, in your respective fields.
Yeah, no, it is all Psy, bro, because like he's like at the beginning of game, I don't know how to describe it. It's like I can kind of do what I want. Like Psy just lets me do that, which is like such a huge thing. Because I was sitting there, dude, I like fucking like I like autopiloted to Moonerthil for some reason. I was like, where the fuck am I going? And yeah, it's just because I was describing my plane. He was like, yeah, do that, bro. Do it. And I was like, I got you on the other, like on the block, on the Bloodhound Knights and all that stuff. I was like, damn, all right.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I have to go and do Limgrave bosses earlier and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. It very much felt like almost every time we were like, oh, this could be a threat here soon. Or like, this is a really important square. Like, oh, it felt like every time we said it, Sai was on top of it, like immediately. Like before things were a threat, Sai was already addressing them. Like the row 4, like he was already addressing that with Bloodhound Knights from very early on. The second we're like Caelid bosses is like gonna become a very important boss square here soon. Sai's already on top of that. It felt like, and like so much so realizing, hey, I don't have to finish Onyx Lord. I'm gonna stop at 3. I'm just gonna go do this other thing now. Like it very much, and I said this during the cast at one point. It felt like I was watching, Shura. Like it just was like always understanding what the most important square was, and yet I was always watching Sai's screen, and so I was like very impressed with Sai's game today. Thought you played great.
This is a very deep cut sports reference, but I'm sure like 3 people in chat will really appreciate this. You guys remind me of the 2009 Steelers defense, where that Steelers defense, right? They had Troy Polamalu, right? Where Troy Polamalu just had these crazy instincts for the game, was such a great player. And the other guys on that defense all did their job and held everything down and allowed Troy to do the things that only Troy can do, right? And it feels like your team is the same way, where Sai's holding it down and putting the team in a position where Shura can do kind of the only things that just do Shura things, right? It's really
that's actually it. Like,
amazing
literally,
to see.
Like last week when I was fighting Borealis, like this is kind of the way it works. Shura's like, okay, here's the threats. I need you to get these squares so I'm not forced into these dumb plays. That's why I'm fighting Borealis with the +4 dragon scale and like 7 big in some games, because he puts in the request and I'm like, all right, I'll go do it.
Like, all right, so I don't, because I feel like if I get fucked on the DLC, like you can get, like if you get pulled away from the DLC too early, your game can get lost pretty easily.
Yeah.
Because the DLC player can always go back to the base game. Like they can flow back, and it's not the same at the beginning of the game where the base game player can't immediately help the DLC player. They have to like earn that.
Yeah.
So it's
makes sense.
Yeah, I tell Sai, I'm like, yo, it was like, these are some things that I'm gonna have to. It was like, are you okay to block them? If not, then I'm gonna have to change my game plan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
makes full
congratulations on the win here today. One final question for you guys before we talk to Expedition 25. Obviously, you guys start out 3-0. You go up against another undefeated team here this weekend on Sunday, as you guys are playing a double, playing ASIM and Nexus. You guys have the opportunity to not only move to 4-0, but to be one of the 2 last remaining undefeateds in the first team to be 4-0, as the other 2 undefeateds have less games played. How are you guys feeling about your position in the league so far this season?
I'm good about it. I like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
I think also like ASIM and Nexus are really good players, and like even if we lose like our game in 2 days, like I don't care, because like they're my bros anyway. Like I'm happy with whatever happens. Like I'm happy so far that like we've had a good performance, and I mean, how can I possibly complain, dude?
Yep.
Stay
It's been a good
less,
time,
baby.
dude.
Stay less. Well, congratulations on the win here today. I do want to talk to Team Expedition 25 because, obviously, Yibe, you had the struggles getting to PK there. But other than that, I mean, you got before that, like the game was really on a knife's edge, right? You guys had potentially the opportunity to counter Bingo, right? With dealing with those pressures. I think you guys played really well, and overall, right? I know it's a 1-2 start, but first game was always going to be tough for you. You get a big win last weekend against Jay and Rambler, and then one little mistake, you get clean that up, and you guys could have won this game as well today. First time in the Golden Order, and you guys are looking really good, like a serious threat. How are you guys feeling?
I feel like shit. I can't lie. In case you know why. Other than like before that, I was feeling pretty well, but I got massively tilted. I don't know where it came from. I just got really pissed off, and then I died more, and I got more pissed off, and it just didn't. Just kind of spiraled.
Well, unfortunately, that's Vex was talking about it as well, right? Like that's part of Bingo, right? And
everyone goes through it.
It sucks, right? But I really do mean it. Like you guys played super well, like really did. Like I think if you guys look really good, right? And plus,
I can tell.
Yeah.
Vike, I was in the fight. I think I might have still gotten sniped on it. But Vike was
Yeah.
really close.
It's hard to tell with like the stream delay on our end and stuff. I think you get it if you don't die, but I think it's like it's.
Oh, Vex just died. He meant to say I think it's really close.
I think it's real close.
Did you have the grace to it or something?
I had it prepped really early. The way
okay,
that
makes
I
sense.
saw
Because
this
I was like,
board was
I was on the way there when you marked Moog. I was like, oh hell yeah, I just get this square then.
Well, it was like Sai
well-
got there slightly first.
Yeah, I thought
Then
that square was
Thomas took a lead
guaranteed.
in the fight.
Yeah.
Sai got there first. Then Thomas got a good rhythm going, took the lead, and then got a bad rhythm as Sai got a really good rhythm, and then Sai took the lead. And then it was back and forth. It was like, and then right as it was about to, y'all are both killing it. He does the Ash of War and kills Thomas.
Yeah,
Oh damn.
Yeah,
What?
like it was
Why
hard
did
to
you go that way?
It was hard to
for
say
wins?
who would have won because there
Vike?
was some stream delay from Thomas was like 5 seconds behind stream delay wise, but it would have been
Or
very,
did you
very
see?
close.
You must have saw a square that was more important. at the
I
time.
wanted Vike early. Like I wanted prep on Vike early because when I saw this board, one of the really strong plays I saw was Moog. But like I'm not confident enough in my Moog to do like stock vague on him. I ended up having a really clean fight, but like so I was like, okay, right, Moog, Lord bosses, Vike, Revenants gives me like a 50k, blocks one of the lines Moog is on, Vike blocks the line Lord is on, and I was like, all right, I really like that. So I wanted to prep Vike earlier and do other stuff, but
That makes sense. Yeah, I looked at this board and I was like, I don't fucking know what to do. So I just casually. It wasn't until I was like reading the DLC board that I was like, I think I can get away with doing castle bosses, Limgrave bosses, 5 DLC bosses, Lion, and 4 remembrances because of Iris. Because I was like, I bet because Iris is the default play, and it's the least risky play to go for. So that's why I thought I could get away with it because I was like, why would you ever fucking risk that shit? Honestly, I was thinking Lion first square, but that would have been really dumb. I'm more happy. The
Board was
way I
kind of
did it.
confusing, dude.
It was a weird board. One other question: did you guys address like that diag immediately stuck out to me? Like when I was like doing my board read initially, was that something that you guys noticed right away?
Which one?
The top left to bottom right diag. Yeah.
I mean, I saw. I didn't think I could get it. I saw it. I just thought, if anything, I'm going to lose DLC bosses because if you try to do imbibe and all that, like, I don't know. It's like because Yip could have just done what I did initially. Like I killed Rolana first for castle boss, went to go kill ADM, see if I dupe. You marked Iris, so I was like, okay, I can go do Lion for a double mark, and then I'm ahead on DLC bosses anyway. But like without that, like I don't know what to do on this board. I would have defaulted to Iris or castle bosses. Oh, I was also scared of the row, I guess, because that was row 4 and column 4 were all base game boards or were all base game squares, and that means that Sai could get into an unfortunate thing of having to like being too predictable, where he's going to constantly go for the same. Like obviously he's going to block the rows, so like now Thomas can just do something like because those are the only squares that he can do at the time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well,
I want to say Expedition for both you and Thomas. It's very evident. I know the ending of the game did not go the way y'all wanted, but it's very evident, and I was really happy to see how far y'all have come since the rookie event. Like I knew from the first time I worked with both of y'all that we were like going through that event together, that I knew y'all both had the drive and the skill to get here and to be in these games and to win a game last week. I wish I could have seen that one. But I know the end of the game, you're going to be very frustrated by it, and I understand that fully. But I do want to say, take some solace that I think y'all were playing really, really well. Like it's very evident, and that y'all like clearly deserve to be in this league and clearly can beat and compete with these people.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
that was really cool to see.
I mean, like if I don't like what helped really was DLC bosses, because if I don't get that square, it's a little crazy. So like,
were you on 4 or 3?
Wait, I had two of the knights, hippo, so probably 3. But like Dane is really quick, so
and you were headed to ADM, I think.
Yeah, I should have pushed that immediately, but I was like, sure, you being silent on the board for so long made me like really confused on what to do next. Like,
I mean, I was also like, thank God
what
you
is this
marked
game?
Iris. Otherwise, I couldn't have done anything either. I was like, we were both going to start doing nothing.
All right, guys, I do need to jump in here because I need to get prepped for the next match. So, but I do want to also say, I know Plural Thomas has been getting into streaming as well. He's been streaming some of the Nightmare Seed, and working on that as well as streaming some other stuff. We need to get him to 50 followers, so he can get affiliate. Shout out Thomas. Please give him a follow, guys. Please give him a follow, help him out. The players don't get paid, so if you can give him some followers here, shout out Plural. Shout out Sci-Fi as well. And I'll be taking a short break, and we will be right back. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you soon.